Some people, they're like, how come you're still so nice? You're still smiling, and you're not a handele pekisa pekanta,
Hello world, my name is Smash Afrika, representing 5 Nights, and this is 5 Unscripted. And today we are going to be taking a look at the power of spirituality, the power of gifts, and most importantly, how that world comes together with those who are creatively inclined, who are here to just be vessels, and most importantly, help us heal, help us find ourselves, and stay connected, not only to our ancestors, but to our source. Whatever you believe in, there is a source that actually speaks to where you come from. And my guest this afternoon is Basetsana. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Shabzi Madallion. And the reason I'm saying their names like that, because they are artists. I would have shared their ID names and ID number, but I feel like SARS is watching. Look at the SARS bafethu.
SARS owes me.
Oh, SARS owes you? Yeah. You owe SARS? You're not gonna say anything. Yeah. Don't. I like starting interviews with questions that are not prepared or questions that you are not expecting from me, like the SARS conversation. Pay your taxes. Because it puts you in a number one, like, okay, I can be comfortable or I could be defensive.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Now, Basetsana, let me start with you. You went to a creative school to study music.
That's true.
But there must have been a calling somewhere, somehow, that said, music is your thing.
I can say it started building up during high school because, in primary I was a child that was involved in a lot of extra activities. I'd do netball, 100 meters. I wasn't this chubby, I was Malaila, I was very skinny. So then in high school it started becoming a thing. I was feeling misplaced, because my father had this thing that he wants me to become an engineer.
Oh, man.
Sometimes when you have that mentality of surviving, I didn't want to survive.
Yes.
I wanted to live.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was going to live through my singing, so we clashed a lot with that. And he eventually, I remember when I was in grade 7, I was in a Christian school even, and that's where I got to sing on a stage, worshiping the Lord.
Yes.
And my late grandmother was there. And then I told him, I'm like, I want to go to a art high school, because I knew there were some aspects where I'm lacking, It was my desire to know how to play a musical instrument, maybe become an actress along the future. That's where my mind was already,
Yes.
So then my father just bluntly said no, and me being me. And, when you have a passion and when you have like a fire inside, nothing and no one can change your mind, not even your father or your mother, So it was a constant fight. He sent me to a technical school. Came a time where we had to choose main subjects. I did what I had to do. I made sure I upset him. I chose business. I even mixed them up. Business, maths, lit, life science, cat, just to show him. And in that, while I'm doing that, I'm busy being in choirs, just so that I stay close to the music. And every time, with the choir, when you have the ability to become powerful and yet in one.
Yes.
That's when I saw, this is my thing, It kept on going. People would ask me at school, please sing. I would enjoy it, I wouldn't mind because I loved it,
Yes.
And then it escalated. We'd go on trips. There was a time when the big thing was there, My friends dragged me on stage. They're like, yeah, can I speak to that? And then I started singing the Sam Smith song, being afraid, I didn't know how to perform, but people came.
Yes.
And they were like,
there's something in the voice.
yes, who's this child?
Yes.
And they're like, we want more. And then it ended up becoming a karaoke. And I was singing songs. And then we were still clashing. And then it was like, varsity, you are coming here, close by. Like the varsity was like 45 minutes later. I'm like, same province. No, I'm going to fight again. And then there was my mom. My mom understands. My mom loves my voice. She's always been that person. She felt like I mustn't just sing for them only.
Yes.
People need to hear my voice.
Yes.
You know. So then my mom was the one that would always like, come down, I'll talk to him. And then she was like, I know you want to go to art school, but in this case, I want you out of the Northwest. I applied, UJ accepted me, but it was things I don't want. But I knew why I came to Johannesburg for this. And then, you know, I made my investigations. I went again to The Voice. I went to The Voice in Matric.
Yeah.
I went to The Voice again. And then it didn't work out. And then I kept quiet, you know. But along the years, I kept preparing my father, like while I was in high school, that what are you going to do if you see me on TV? Don't go there. Don't go there. So I made sure every month I would ask him like once or twice, what are you going to do when you see me on TV? He's not knowing that I'm busy preparing him. Nice. I'm busy preparing him. Eventually, whatever you say me, I'm going to go on that screen and I'm going to sing. And that's when I went to Idols.
Oh, man.
Did he not call me during those AMs as I'm standing there? So you're not in your rest, huh? We dropped you off. We're thinking that you're going to be at rest. You are in lines. 1 a.m., huh? You'll see who's going to pay for your school fees. And, you know, because I'm a humble child, I'm not used to, you know, going against him like that. Like
confrontational,
you know?
or yeah.
And then it was interesting, you know, it was a story already. And that's when in my mind, no one told me. That's when I was like, oh, so I guess there's a market in selling a story, you know, story selling, you know. No one taught me that. I'm learning all of these things as I'm going because it's a part of the business, you know. It's a part of PR. It's a part of what stands out, you know. The father that didn't want the child to sing. And then, you know, there she is.
Yes.
I made it to the top 16 and then I got eliminated. My world crumbled because I love it, you know. I went there with the thing of, I'm going to bring that million home.
Yeah, you're going to win the competition.
Yes, I'm going to win it, you know. And then that's when, things, you know, that's when now it was actually starting to show that I need to start somewhere. But I was stubborn, you know. And I was told that I have to go the journey. Yes. So instead of asking them, I went and I was like, hey, I'm going to sing, so open my ways. Like, I'm stubborn.
Yes.
I didn't want to undergo it because it's not me. How day before, as we're doing the rehearsals, my knee, hence the outfit.
Hold on, girl. I feel like you're moving too fast. Once the kneecap pops, you know you're going too fast.
Yeah. So my knee pops, you know. And then I call my mom. My mom knows what's up. So I start going off. Why are they after me? Why didn't my grandfather go to his son, who is my father?
I want you to park that.
Yes.
I want you to park that because I need to bring Shabzi Madallion in. Yeah. I want him to answer the same question. Yeah. When did the calling for music start for you, or where did you pick it up that it's there?
I think in hindsight, I didn't know that there was a time of the calling, but I started writing grade 6, primary. I'm the older brother at home, so you have so many responsibilities, expectations from your parents. So writing was just a way for me to introspect on what I'm going through. And funny enough, the writing itself helped me cope with being the big brother at home. You know, when your brothers are crying, they need you, you're the one who's like helping them heal and be okay. But who's helping you heal and be okay? You know, it's that source. But that's me speaking in hindsight. At the time, I don't know. I just know that when I'm writing, I'm like, yo, I feel good. There's a lot of load that's off me now, you know? It's crazy. Like, as Basetsana speaking, I'm like, yo, that's my life. You know, about the dad and everything, like, you know, my father as well, you know, and I think, you know, our parents mean well, you know, they don't know, I don't know about your father, but they don't know the music industry like that. They don't trust the music industry, you know. We've seen what the music industry has yielded for a lot of artists that came before us. So it's like, I'm going to let my child go through the same thing? No, you know, and I think they were hard from that perspective. And we rebelled because the ignorance in the love for the music is what we are mad at. I'm not trying to be in the music industry. You know, all I know is what I'm writing is from the heart. Like, I feel it. Like, I wish you were inside me to understand, you know. And luckily for us, like, we had the mother, like, of the two guardians, who can actually see the gift for what it is. They don't validate you, they affirm you. Like, yo, you definitely have something inside you. Like, even when I listen to you, I feel like you're speaking to me as young as you are, you know. So one is affirming you, the other is being resisting because they're afraid of you being in that world, you know. But the more you resist, unfortunately, the spirit inside you also is like, nah, I feel something about this and I'm going to pursue this. No matter what. Like, you know, it's funny you speak of idols. Me and my mother, we used to watch idols religiously every week, you know, when we're young. And I told her, like, with conviction, I told her, one day when there's a rap idols, I'm going to be on it.
Say it now.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
man.
And you young, it's funny, we laugh, da-da-da, and the hustle happened, you know? And I also made it until underdog stage, top 2, didn't win, broke my heart. But...
Did you bust a kneecap?
So my journey, when now I speak about the spiritual journey, I've always been the only one in the family who was more spiritually inclined. It was inside of my family, but I was the one going from church to church. You know, my family's Presbyterian. I went from that to Anglican, from that to Catholic, from that to Christian. From that, I used to chill around Muslims. From that, I used to be around Buddhists. You know, so my journey wasn't about religion. It was about feeling fulfilled in my spirit, you know. And so over time, while doing this music thing, because mind you, the music is helping me get through, because we're humans at the end of the day. We have the gift, but we are succumbed by our flesh as well. And so the music helped me heal through a lot of things that I went through. When did my kneecap bust? 2019. Like, bro, I'd like have these absurd burps, you know.
Oh, man.
Even now, like, I only have it when the spirit is around, you know. And I think now I'm at a place where it's something specific happening when it happens. But even now, in this room, there are spiritual beings in the presence. Like when you were speaking about your nerves and you wanting to voice it, like, why am I feeling this way? It's because of that. You know, like, there's more than one entity that's with us today. And I can feel it.
I've had goosebumps since we pressed record. Like, and I'm also like, in the same breath, I'm not trying to invalidate the goosebumps and act like they're not there. But I feel like we are speaking to something bigger than you and I. Someone watching this can relate to it differently on the spirit context. The spirit never leaves. It's always with us. Was there ever a point in your life, Basetsana, where you were trying to run away from your spirit or the spirit?
Definitely.
And why was that?
I can say I've been running away from it ever since I was a small child, and not necessarily running. I guess my parents are also, in a sense, shielding me. You know, that language of, she's still young. So that was the thing. So I grew up saying, I'm a sickly person. You know, whenever it would happen, I know she's sick, you know. Sometimes I'd be in a specific place and I'll just, you know, something will come, it will make me feel like a tumble dryer, you know, and I would lose all sense of control. I like being in control. But in this case, you know, I was forced to understand that, you know, I am a passenger. You know, growing up, sometimes I'd have difficulties in walking. You know, school wasn't easy. If I'm not being kept out of school, they would keep me out of school different ways, especially, you know, financially. The teachers would make it difficult, you know. And then in matric, I was a good netball player. Someone jumped on my ankle, you know, multiple fraction. I was about to get into the national netball team, you know, and I was thinking that, yeah, you see, now if I get
things
this,
are aligning.
yes, my parents are going to save this whole money for my first year, because I was so used to getting in school so uncomfortably that it was like I needed something that was going to make it easy. And, you know, we were focused on the ankle. As time went, you know, as I mentioned, it popped behind stage and I lost it, you know. I lost it. And that was when I remember after performing live, you know, like I remember the comments. Even if you go to the performance now on YouTube, you will see that I'm teary. I'm not teary, you know, I'm a person, I have good hearing. So now as I'm performing, I'm aware that when the song is at this part, the camera is going to be at this angle. So, you know, people are thinking I'm performing, so now I'm busy doing this. They're thinking I'm doing hand gestures, but I'm actually talking to the sound engineer that, why am I hearing
many things
in my ear?
Oh no.
You know? And that's when, deep down inside, I knew. But then they confirmed it. When I went to go sleep, he came, he said next to me. He literally just did this. Spoke in Tonga, yeah, you are going home tomorrow morning. Going home, me, I didn't take it to head. Then it became visible. They say, are you three, you are being eliminated. Broke down. Right there and there, my life was in shambles. Like I go through a lot of things, especially like I go through a lot of difficulties before like reaching my goal. Then my mom reminds me that, you know, you are not a normal person. You are called. And when you are called, you're always going to be higher. And when you are higher, people are going to see your shine even before you do. And I tried so hard all the years to try and be
reserved.
You know,
To
reserved.
be in the behind the scenes.
Yes,
the
to
one
be,
that you don't, you know.
Yes, to be there, you know, to be a person amongst the people, you know, never the one leading or but there's that thing and it happens naturally when I get to work. So yeah, let's do this and this, and automatically they listen. But then I noticed that in order for you to be taken seriously, you need to come looking like a product already. And I'm not about that. I play the long game.
Now, Shabzo, long game is, that's what you believe in.
Yep.
I'm listening to her and I'm like, wait, this sounds like the conversations I've had with you.
Yep.
Do you remember a time when you were running away from your calling, or at least not acknowledging it for what it was?
Yeah, bro. I think, like she said, my whole life, you know, a lot of us are led by fear. And when you have fear, there's only one thing you're going to do is run. If it's too dark, you run, you find the light, you know. But I have a line in one of my songs like, yo, bro, the light touches everybody eventually. Yeah. It's all about the timing. You know, it's like when the sun rises, it obviously starts before dark. And as it rises, at some point, the light's going to touch all of us. Whether we like to admit that or not, it does. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened to me in 2019 with the burps. And prior to that, every year, like she was saying, you always sickly. Every year for me, for 4 years, I was in hospital, you know. Oh, depression, people prescribe pills for you, you know, and you try all these medications that seemingly don't work, you know. But how do you explain that to people who believe Western medication is the only way to heal people, you know? At some point, you get your own revelations and the Spirit finds its way to you. You know, not all of us have the same journey, you know, and I've had my own visitations in dreams. But I can't wake up and tell you this is what's happening to me because I'll sound crazy to you.
I read somewhere that anyone with spiritual gifts, whether it's to be a gogo or a prophet, or a gogo and a prophet, they don't talk about their dreams. It's not their business to talk about their dreams because those things, they happen in the dreams and they stay there, and your ancestors will guide you in terms of what you interpret and what you are saying. Do you think the reason that you can't talk about the dreams is because we are not inclined to understand the power of dreams, or we think we understand the power of our dreams?
I mean, look at it, bro. We think of dreams as a normal thing that happens like when we go to sleep. That's something deep. Dream is the only dimension where time doesn't exist. There's no past, present, future. But you somehow able to live in this world of seeing things that you can't reconcile. And then you wake up, you live your life. Some days you have deja vu. And because we have a word for it, it's just deja vu. You can't really connect it to the dreams you had. We're so like disconnected. Like the more you get in tune with your spirit, the more you realize there's more happening than what we know consciously. There's a reason why there's a word called conscious and a word called subconscious. The other side is not the side that we tap into regularly. And people could tap into it, but we don't know how. Yeah. It's not popular for us to have these conversations. It's not popular for us to know about the spiritual realm, to indulge in those endeavors, you know. And cool, we're in a time now where spirituality is mainstream, right? But when something becomes mainstream and you're living in a capitalistic world, people take advantage of anything that becomes popular. Now, it's not all of us that are really in this for what's really happening. You know, there's a reason why they say you're gifted or you're chosen. It's not going to be all of us. We all have a purpose in this life, you know. Now, it's like how she was saying, I'm playing the long game. My next album is called The Long Game. Is that a coincidence that we're all sitting together and having this discussion?
I'm asking my ancestors, like, why me? Why choose me?
But you see, that's the question of every gifted individual. Yeah. Why me? It's your heart, bro. Yeah. It's what's in your heart. You know, you're doing what you know you need to be doing. The closer you get to your real self, you'll have no choice but to be your higher self, your authentic self. Yeah. The version of yourself that you know. The one that gets tired of pretending. Yeah. Like, I'm tired of giving my dad the same answer. I think I want to give him the real answer today. Unfortunately, when you get close to yourself, you lose people. Because when you tell them your version of the truth, it's not going to land the way that they expect it to land. Hence, you are holding your truth from them.
Oh, man. Guys, my favorite question to ask in interviews, how do you address entitlement? Was two individuals as gifted as you, yes. I imagine you understand the disease that entitlement is. Because with entitlement comes expectations. Yes. Man, we're not even entitled to breath, bro. You know, the oxygen that we wake up to, we're not entitled to that. Mm-hmm. You know, so Basetsana, I just want you guys to touch on that. How do you address entitlement when you see it?
I'm a very diplomatic person. And you know, with diplomacy comes strategy. You know, it's like finding a nice way to tell you that you are full of nonsense. You know, but there's no other way but to sit that person down. The only thing that's going to make them comfortable is their energy and how you approach it. Because it's a different thing when I say, I want to tell you that you see today, this is what is going to happen. Then I would like us to have a conversation. Yes. You know, there's something that I noticed and I don't like. Yes. So can you please change this and stop doing that?
How do you address entitlement when it's in front of you, bro?
I think, you know, I'm a very confrontational person, bro. And I've learned to avoid being confrontational to people who hate being confrontational. So I'm the type of person where if you're going to confront me about something, I can only keep it real. Like there's no shortcuts, none of that. So if you come at me as if you're entitled for something that I might have or whatever, my only response to you is to tell you why you're entitled, if I know you, you know. So a lot of individuals, they have their own dreams. Another thing about gifted individuals, bro, we're mirrors, you know. And some people see in you what they avoid seeing in themselves. And so once you figured out how to be that version of yourself, they get entitled that you should be able to help them
Yes.
see themselves. But we're all on our own journey, you know. So if you're my friend, like you're Smash, been friends for a few years, my response to you is going to be me telling you the reasons why you are entitled, which is you subconsciously asking me for a mirror of yourself. You already know why you're entitled, but there's something about people being attracted to gifted individuals. They asking them, hey, do you see it? Show it to me, because I feel like you can see it. You know, and that's how you address entitlement for me personally, because I'm a confrontational dude. If you confront me, okay, let's go. But if you run, you're running.
I wish this conversation would put it on like a boost, so that all the parents can see it on TikTok and Facebook. Because next question that I'm about to ask you is, in a Western society where everything is pushed to look and seem a certain way, and you are taken away from who you truly are as an African child, what do you say to people who are not proud of who they are, what they are, and potentially what the spirits have bestowed in terms of a gift?
What I'm going to say is, we live in a time where, whether we like it or not, we need to be very rooted. Because we've been so misled, not well informed, or you know, not well educated about this topic of bungoma or spirituality, let's say that. You understand, to an extent where we believe that, you know, religion is this, spirituality is that. I like posing a question, just like I posed the question in front of the very same people that were judging me, that if you guys feel like God is not for me, how is it that he's with me all the time? You know, in that I'm making them question how they see spirituality or what they think spirituality is. My thing would be, find yourself. And in finding yourself, whether we like it or not, it goes back to praying to who has created all of us, that is God. And in prayer, for some odd reason, prayer is like a fuel to this spirituality thing. It's like the more you pray, the more you become closer to whatever it is. It opens, because whatever I do, I say, God, please lead me and my ancestors.
So, Lishabe, to you, at an age where technology, noise, and I like the fact that you touched on capitalism and how it can use the topic of spirituality to, you know, enrich itself as a system. What do you say to someone and the importance of being rooted to who they are? Because who you are is not going to change based on how much you acquire or how big your wallet is, or your bank account, or, you know, like the material things. It's the craziest thing. So what do you say to someone?
Bro, I'm glad you said, you know, the material things and everything. It depends on what your goal is, bro. If your goal is to eventually heal, actualize, evolve, and balance that with the fact that you're alive in this reality, then that journey for you is inevitable to get to that place of healing. You know, the problem with us today is even people who are gifted think that they're the Messiah. You're not here to save nobody. You're here to be your highest self and be a vessel for what they need to do through you. I'm not here to save Smash.
Damn.
I'm here to be myself. Whoever watches this and resonates, they're going to receive what they meant to receive. But understand that this that we're doing now is not going to be understood by everybody, because everybody is not ready to resonate at that frequency. Everyone's on their own journey. Do you understand that? When we finish here, Basetsana is going to go be herself. I'm going to go be myself. Continuing to grow, doing the work that I need to do spiritually to enhance myself. Now, while enhancing, people benefit from that. people who are in my life, people who listen to the music, people who have conversations with us, people who watch these clips long after we're gone, you know, but we're not here to save anybody. The journey of spirituality is your journey alone. That's why when the calling comes, you get isolated. COVID is not a coincidence. The fact that we all had to be by ourselves is not a coincidence. The fact that it was hard for some people being by themselves is because, like, yo, you running from you for too long. Man! Way too long. Like, clock is ticking. Especially
Bro! And the reason I'm losing my mind is because, like, I've had chats with him about that. Like, I felt like it just said to me, like, boy, oh boy, you've been lost. And you've been lost within yourself because you just did not speak and address yourself as self. And now you're bringing on other people. Now they got to deal with their washing machine or tumble dryer. And that's too much turbulence for me, bro. Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight? People pray, bro. Like, that thing is not going to land. Now, can you imagine you make people live through that on a daily basis, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your partner, whether it's your child, whether it's your parents? Man, sorry, I just had to go off there, man.
No, but even what Basetsana said about, like, you know, the whole Christianity and stuff, bro, I'm not mad at Jesus Christ, Yahshua Christ. I'm not mad at him. He didn't tell us that his name is Jesus Christianity. The people told us. Oh, you talk about Jesus Christ, he's an ancestor now. Do you understand? He's an ancestor now. So if you're speaking about somebody that is long gone in another realm, then let's be well informed and have the real conversations. It's not to polarize or fast track your journey, right? You might actually be comfortable where you are with that veil in front of your eyes. But let's allow each other to have our own journeys, man.
Yeah, boy.
Some of us are going to be real, some of us are not. But both sides have a role to play.
Damn.
The light is there to build, the dark is there to destroy. So if you're doing something that's building and I'm the dark, yo, bro, you're making my job harder. Let's all work then.
Basetsana, you had an unfortunate experience with your gobela. You were called.
Yes.
You heed the call. And then you get introduced to a fake gobela. Not once. You gotta talk me. I like how he's laughing. By the way, you segue into that question. So I like how I'm just facilitating this conversation.
And interconnecting what he said, you know, about God being an ancestor. Inside I was like, yo, just in the Bible when they say the God of Jacob, the God of Abraham, that word angel, what do you think that is? It's another word to say ancestor, you know. But to answer your question, you know, to answer your question, yo, it's a very, it makes me feel very emotional, you know. Back then I would cry, but then now it's like, yeah, my parents should have named me Kidiboni. I've seen it all, you know.
But I think Basetsana Kidiboni sounds apt. So you must just add.
Because, like he's saying, I was the one that was making their job difficult. Because now here comes this child who I want to take advantage of. First of all, it seems like her shine is bigger than mine. Second of all, she a child. How come she has this kind of power and I've been around in this game? You understand?
Oh, shit.
So now, I went through that. My life took a, hey.
Not even a U-turn. We don't know what it is, but
I want to make a pun, but let me not. It might get me in trouble. It was a 360. Yeah, it was a 360, you know. And as a 360, it was that's, I guess, you know, as much as it hurt me, that's when now ain't nobody gonna tell me about a human being. I will look at you, and if you're full of nonsense, I will smell your nonsense from afar. Because as much as people destroy you or try to destroy you, they're not realizing that they're actually giving you more knowledge about how a person can be if they're bad. You understand? And in this case, I just wanted to learn and understand more, because I'm aware that there are people waiting for me to heal, you know. And then, when I lost my sanity.
Man, you lost your sanity?
Yeah. This is the first time I'm actually saying this, but I have.
This is the first time we have this conversation on record.
Yes. That's when, you know, like, sometimes I like saying, sometimes never judge a person that you see on the street being crazy. And I'm lucky enough that when all of those things happen, my family was around, including my father. He was around. And every time when I go to these people, I remember I asked them, the first question was like, am I still going to be able to sing? Yeah, no, you will. Don't worry, you will. The first one, at least the first one, as much as she was also like a husband, you know, she encouraged me to go after my dreams. But then this second one, hey, guys, the devil can be a person. And you know, sometimes when you acquire power, it can make you drunk. I like saying never let power make you drunk, you know. And in this case, she didn't turn her circumstance into being a positive person, like being a positive Gobela that me, I'm going to be different. When students come to me, I'm going to do the right things. I'm going to do the perfect things because this is what I went through. No, instead she came back times 10. Himself, Kobolak. You understand? She, every day, you know, when I saw that she was evil, she went from my strongest point. And that is the intangible, my spirit. She started breaking that. She wanted to break that, you know. Not knowing me. You know, sometimes when you meet someone and you challenge them, study your opponent first, you know. Just because now I'm a child, I'm young. You don't know me. You don't know me. Yes. She didn't know, you know. She doesn't know me. So she went after the thing that I feel like if anyone touches, I'm going to fight. But then again, I'm a respectful person. And we were taught to respect Gobelum Ted, you know, be very humble. So I'm not a person that would usually one-on-one with the adult. No, never. So she would say all those things and I'm here. She'd say, you're nothing. You're going to be nothing. She even went as far as saying that I'm going to be paralyzed when I sing, you know. My friends would, she asked, she said, the more I sing, I'm going to get paralyzed. I'm not going to go anywhere, those kind of things. And I'm going to come back to her and she's going to be the one that's going to make me walk. And unfortunately, it's 2020, you know, I never thought that there'd be a lockdown. Oh. Then the president said,
shut down.
You know, there, guys, that's when I saw that God is real and ancestors are real. As much as she was breaking me for close to 5 months or trying to break me, she didn't. And she was evil. She abused me. The amount of hard labor. There's nothing wrong with labor. I don't mind the stoop me. Afrika Bambara's porch, I don't mind it, you know. I don't mind it. I don't mind fraving it. I don't mind chores at all. But there are certain chores when you look at them and you're like, bra. Literally, I was like a slave. And whenever my phone rang, my parents called every day without those are living ancestors. It's like whenever she'd say something, I'd literally call them inside. And literally 30 minutes later, hi. And she'd put me on, she'd make sure I put on speaker so that I don't say, help me. These people are abusing me. Even when I was alone, they'd make sure they bring a child so that they spy on me, or maybe I don't find the gap to say, come fetch me, guys. It's bad this side, you know. You see, if my parents didn't arrive at that time, it was going to get to the whipping and the lashing, because she would always like grab me and tongue, you know. But because she was afraid of my father specifically, she hated my mom, because my mom also was like me. She had a gift. So my mom would always clash with her, ask her questions, how, and then, you know. So now when they came to save me, I would like to say that I don't want any person that has this gift to undergo that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be that advocate.
Yeah. And that's why we having this chat, girlfriend.
Yes.
Like,
you know,
because, you know, it's so funny how this conversation starts with Basetsana. She comes on the TV show that I work on, and, you know, we touch base. It's like, yo, bro, I went through the process, and I gotta tell you, it was not a nice journey for something that is a gift. And gifts are supposed to be embraced and shared, isn't it? A gift is not something that should be used to, I guess, like, take power away from people, abuse people, or take advantage of people. In no way. And then, but she said this to me, it's like, in spite of all of it, going through the most smash, I went to graduate, and I'm here now, and I want us to have this conversation with the babies, bro. And then there's you, who, COVID, crazy, right? I worked with this man. I never worked with this guy, ever.
Okay.
We work in the same building, never worked together. And during COVID, I work with Shabzi on a weekly basis.
okay.
Remote working. So all we are hearing each other through the headphones. We are not in person. But this man can tell me when it's not well with my soul. You know? And it because we worked on a weekly basis, it was not a one specific week, he told me. But it was ongoing conversations, which led to me understanding, most importantly, that judgment to another is actually robbing ourselves of peace to a certain degree. Because if I judge him, I'm judging myself. And generally, when you judge yourself, you are way harder on yourself, right? So I just want to say thank you so much for being brave in speaking your truth and talking about your journey. Because in that, I have this burning conviction inside of me that we are going to be a better generation of leaders. Not because the leaders before us did not share the knowledge, but because we know what value comes with knowledge and how it can power multiple generations to come. You know, I'm a new dad, bro. My kid is turning like 12 months next month. And I'm like, you know, one thing I don't want to do is disadvantage the next generation. The way I felt like I was disadvantaged. So, Leshabi, next question goes to, when information is not readily available about spiritual gifting or spiritual gifts, when the information is not readily available about the music business, where do the kids go to?
Look, I'll speak to the kids and say, people need to humble themselves, bro. You know, go to school, allow yourself to be teachable, and be led by your intuition. When something feels off, it's probably off. When something feels right, it's probably right, you know. We speak about sixth sense a lot, but we use it as an adjective, not actually, you know, using it. You know, we use our eyes, we use our nose, we use our touch, you know, sense of, but we never use that sixth sense where you can feel something is right, not right. So if there is anything that you're curious about that you know less about, we are in the internet era. Start there, you know, avoid trying to meet with people first, you know, because like she said, people, you know them for what they are, you know, and some people are here for other reasons, man, and we don't know those reasons spiritually. So if there is anything you're curious about, start at the internet. It's as simple as typing it in Google. What does this mean? And start doing the homework. Research, watch as many, like allow yourself, don't watch one video or read one article and think that's the gospel. Like read every article you can find on it. Watch every video you can find on it. Someone you feel like knows, ask every question and allow yourself to come to your own conclusion of it. It's like I said, like, you are not going to be saved by anybody other than the spirit that's inside you. I'm not here to ask Smash a question about presenting and think his answer is the top answer. I'm going to talk to every presenter I can and realize, oh, there are 5 answers that resonated with me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I spoke to different people, and you take that with you. That's yours.
I love that. I love that. Lastly, I think the best gift that we can give the next generation is imparting knowledge.
Yeah.
What knowledge would you like to leave behind?
The knowledge I'd like to leave behind is, no matter what happens, never ever forget who you are.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know what I want. That's why even today, with everything that has happened to me and all the things that I've been through, I still have goodness in me. Because, you know, some people, they're like, how come you're still so nice? You're still smiling, and, you know, you're not a handele pekisa pekanta, you know?
Yeah, man, just to jump on that bandwagon as well, man. Like, I think that is the message of the year. Like, be your authentic self, you know, pridefully so, you know, and confront your fears, man. You know, like whatever it is that you fear, figure out a way in which you can confront it. You don't have to wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm going to tackle the big giant. You can break it down. Tomorrow I'm addressing the leg part of this giant. You know, the next day I'll tackle this part of the giant. But confront those fears. The sooner you confront those fears, the quicker you can get to your authentic self.
Oh, man. What a beautiful Unscripted. I actually even feel like we just need to have a series of these conversations, because Shabzi Madallion's journey and Basetsana's journey are just that, their journey. And at the end of the day, what being a vessel is allowing yourself to be used to transfer whatever that is decided by God or your ancestors from one point to the next point. And if the job is done for the vessel, the job is done for the vessel. I feel like in the day and age, we hold on to a lot of things that are meaningless, and we've made ourselves believe that they are meaningful. The question is, what legacy are you going to leave behind? Are you going to leave it better than you found it, or are you going to leave it the same? My name is Smash Afrika. Make sure you tune into 5 nights, Monday to Thursday between 7 and 10. Otherwise, just be a good human being. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Smash.
I like that intro, outro, whatever that was.